The entire campus was originally built and used by General Motors.
Super cool.
It just, you gotta pinch yourself.
I look around here, I'm like, you've got zero struggle.
It's field of dreams, right? If you build it, they will come, right? So you design it with purpose. So you'll see everything's open, right? And
you haven't even got the cube. Like,
no,
you've got
everything. Everything's open. There's probably maybe 10 closed door offices for senior leaders.
This is your small.
This is the small auditorium.
Okay.
Right.
This one's going to be more one-way traffic. Try and just share stuff with them that they can just take away. Using favorite part of his work. Hey, cheers. Thank you. You can even say it in a British accent if you want to imitate, all right? Cheers. Okay, see, we can do this. No one in the world likes to feel sold. You want to work with the most successful people? Praise them first. I just proved to you guys, though, Desmond said it better than I did, you're not hearing what the person is saying. People do business with people they feel more the same as. Now, I have clients where they'll send me black hand emojis. I'm not sending them black hand emojis back, all right? Cheers.
Really good. Thanks.
Yeah?
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Cheers. Go ahead.
With the cards.
That leaves red. Of the red, you got a hard. It doesn't matter where. It's not. That's why it's not a trick.
We're gonna get you up to it.
Okay. Okay. So should I grab my laptop then? He goes, but you did get me intrigued on this predetermined outcome. I think the people at UWM could learn about getting on conversations. Imagine you got a mini version on your shoulder and it whispers in your ear, like, Jamie, you're talking too much. All right. Always in a sale, make it about the other person first. I was waiting for Deshaun just say a word, and all I was going to do with people with a look of question, the last word. Why? Because I want to keep him elaborating on it and evoke even more emotion. So I'm just like, rapport? Now he had a look of like, yeah, rapport. So here's what I did.
So then how do you do that and steer those conversations to build that up when you have to build up the personal side and not just the topic of what you're talking about?
Okay, you don't have to know everything. You just have to be attached to ethical people. That's where the word we comes into play so great, especially in a team environment. Like what experience do you have? Funny you should ask that. You like me, you value your time, right? You're gonna love me. I didn't just come in my own experience. We have a whole team of everyone who looks at everything that gets into this. You're not lying, you've got thousands of people. You can literally say, we've got thousands of people that are, if you came through our office, you wouldn't believe the camaraderie. We don't have partitions between desks. We are like the most open, collaborative. You know what? In fact, my treat, come along, I'll make sure you get lunch and like
Versus hearing, yeah. Listen, we were just talking about that. Like, for
world, all right? And because you're in here, let me ask you, women are best at sales. You're told to find something complimentary to say at the beginning of a sale, right? They're not giving praise pertinent to the actual sale. So it's kind of like, I know what you're doing. If you're gonna praise, you've got to give praise that's pertinent to the actual sale. But rather than me tell you, what have you heard that would make you feel like you should be working with us kind of play, and that's the psychology.
For 20 years, and then brand new leaders on the floor, a lot of different types of teams where you have, some leaders working with people that make this much money, and then some leaders working with people that are like just out of school making this much amount of money. So how do you connect with and communicate with all different types of people?
With your team, if you want to set up a certain cultural element or certain scenario, you want to make it their idea. Hey, if you were me and you were leading a team, one thing, what is the one thing they value? What is the one thing that's very important? It's a lot easier to answer. Ruby, what was one thing that Alexa shared that you value about eating broccoli? Oh, the thing about the brain, Dad. Men included, you've all got to pretend, all right, that you're married women, all right? Just for the purpose of fill in the blank, all right, for 3 minutes of your life. Every time I do this, you've all got to respond in unison, all right? I've got a valid point in communication with this. You've all got to respond to this in unison. So you're all married women, and you've been invited to the most prestigious ball on the planet. This thing takes place like a solar eclipse, but it's in your town and you've been invited to it, okay? You've gone and bought yourself, you've got the most glamorous dress, okay? And you've got these amazing earrings, this beautiful diamond necklace. You've got your makeup artist coming over to the house and your hairstylist coming over to the house to get you all ready and prepped for this ball. And you suddenly realize that you're missing a pair of Shoes, right. So you're like, oh, I need to buy some shoes. So you go to your mall, the most fanciest mall on the planet there, and you go to this shop and you see this beautiful pair of, all right, these shoes cost a lot of, all right, and you know when you get home, your husband will be, all right, but you love these shoes so much, you decide you're gonna go ahead and buy them, all right? So you get out your wallet and you swipe and you left the store with a massive, even though when you knew you get home, your husband would be, you decided to do it. Okay. Now, Mateen, are you a married woman? Because he was very engaged there, but I have a valid point with this. Watch this. I'm showing you the world is programmed. Whether it's like I got everyone upstairs to say grades, job, money, life. All right. It doesn't matter what it is. As leaders, when you've got a group, if you really want to get buy-in, fill in the blank. One way, I can lead a horse to water. I can't make it, and then the person says drink. In a world of ADHD, I know people are paying attention. So the first benefit of using fill in the blank, you know people are actually listening to you. The second way is you're showing them they're conditioned to think a certain way, and then you get to transition your conversation. Am I showing you an alternative to this that's better?
I have a quick question for you.
Yeah, of course.
I agree 100%. Emotion, right, is the main point of getting somebody to buy, getting somebody to sell in the real estate, because I'm also an agent.
Okay.
Well. I wanted to hear your opinion. So when we deal with problems as AEs, right?
Right.
We've already sold the deal. Deal's in, and now there's something going wrong with it.
Right.
People will call us up emotionally. Why is this happening? Why are you guys screwing up?
Right.
What do you, in your opinion, is the best way to bring somebody from an emotional point back to a logical point? Because logic is always a better way to solve issues rather than to sell.
The dilemma you get there is, and you're not the only industry alone.
Right.
There's not enough being proactive,
Yes.
so you get to be less reactive.
Correct.
So for instance, an analogy, although it's a different industry, but financial advisors will get people saying, we want to sell everything off when the market does something.
Right.
Well, if you were in the first meeting, let's say I'm a financial advisor, Dan, hey, when you're doing this, are you looking to sexually day trade this stuff, or are you caring about a long-term retirement? What's your thoughts? If you say sexually day trade, I'm like, I'm not your guy, but if you say long-term,
Right.
great, so you know, look, I can control a lot, I can't control the market for decades to come, right?
Of course.
So as it goes down and up and up and down,
Right.
if you ever notice one, the next up is always higher than the last one.
Of course.
Okay, so one thing you're never gonna do, you're never gonna call me up and say, Jamie, let's sell everything off, right? I've set it up so when you do call me,
Right.
I get to be less reactive.
Yes.
You've got to set up with your people.
Yeah.
Hey, just so you know, I can control a lot. All right. Is it okay, one, to be human? Yeah, okay. So when things can happen,
Yep.
just know you'll call me up, but we'll handle it. Is it normal for me to be able to talk to you and address it in this way? Is that fair?
Right.
Yes. You're asking how to prospect, and I'm sharing with you, don't focus on a prospect like the one to what, like what can I get this one person to join me?
Right.
Think a bit more further afield in terms of people remember the way you leave them feeling. So you want other people to be talking about you from that regard. And other business can come from, I would focus on gold, like, so I'm giving you an example. If I'm a realtor, it's divorce attorneys. Divorce attorneys can send multiple people my way. If I'm a financial advisor, it's a CPA, all right? They can send tons of business my way. I would focus on who are my golden geese that will get lots of loan officers into my life. I would make friends with title companies or realtors who, like, you become, there's so many realtors, whether it's in Detroit or all across the country, provide value for them in certain way. You can do, look, I'll even put my hat in the ring. John, the fact you're sat here taking advice from me means that you think I know things, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Would it be valuable for realtors or loan officers to have me in their life, in your opinion?
Yes.
Okay. Well, one resource, I don't charge anything. Jamie, would you do a virtual session for a bunch of loan officers that I'm looking to look impressive for? Yes. Now you make an invitation, hey, I'm going to have this. I get to edify you, John, and then now you've got win-win situation across the board. Doesn't cost you anything, and it doesn't even take your time up. All right. If you like doing LinkedIn, do what I said. Like, if you think that's a way to structure it, but you've got to make sure there's. I haven't even looked. If I looked at how you're currently reaching out or your phone calls, I could probably give you advice in what you're consciously saying to someone. I don't know if you have any of that.
I don't have any available, but it's just an introductory. Hey, this is John from UWM.
Immediately you lost me. Yeah, so watch this. Hi, this is John from UWM. When someone phones you up and starts with I'm not saying don't tell someone who you are. I'm just saying if it's the first words out your mouth, when someone calls you up cold and starts with the hi, I'm so and so with so and so, even if you don't do it, what's your first inclination to do?
I don't need them right now or whatever. Or
hang up.
Yeah.
It's a negative psychology. So if I'm calling someone up, all right, first I'm waiting for them to answer the phone first to see if they're a hey or hello person. If they take too much time, don't go too uncomfortable, just be like hi. All right, and then one of the things you'll do, okay, so what's my name? I'm gonna make this a lesson. What do you know me as?
James.
Okay, what do you think it says on my driver's license?
James.
Okay, if you call me up and ask me, is James there? Immediately you're telling me you don't know me and we're really cold and you're trying to sell me something. Negative. If you say things like, hey, I've got your name as James, what do you like to go by? All right? Cold to warm very quickly. Hey Jamie, I'm always, and then you throw out this. I don't know if you've ever had someone where you've not spoken to them, but I'm always fascinated how, quickly, people, when I call them, they love me and they want me in their life. All right, and now I'd be like, you're probably, if you like me, you value your time, right? Yeah, I've only got one question. Let's say I'm more than charming, everyone in the world seems to love me, and I can help you in this regard. Would that at least be beneficial? And if I'm on the phone, to get on a virtual, because now you get to make it a virtual, or you make it fun, like, hey, John, I've got a super important. Are you going to be on today's? Friday, next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Are you going to be decent from the neck up on that day and time? Okay, great. Now you've set up phone call to seeing them. Now you get a chance to build a relationship up with them. Are you ladies waiting for me? Okay, so just come along here. You're welcome to come and join. I guess we're getting a crew. When we were in California and Eugene and Heather were there for it, I've actually got the voice memo on my phone getting a free upgrade to a Maserati. All right, true story. I had a Ford Mustang, and even though it was a nice car, I was like, I wonder if I can get the upgrade. So I just went up to the guy. I got his name. Hey, I'm Jamie. Josh. I can tell I just got really lucky here. You look like you want to make everyone happy. And he just started chuckling. Yeah, I do. I'm like, oh, terrific. He goes, what can I do for you? I said, and I use group psychology. I'm like, the last time I came along here, I couldn't believe it. The person gave me a free upgrade. It's pretty amazing, right? When those things happen, he goes, yeah, let me have a look in the system. And then he says, look, you're going across to the garage. I put in the system. I think they're feeling particularly generous today. So I just went in there to the next person. And I've got the voice memo. I'm like, hey, Ashley, or I think it was Ashley, your friend Josh said that you guys were feeling really generous. Like, in what sense? He just said to me that you guys are feeling generous with giving free upgrades. She goes, well, what car would you want? I said, well, you tell me what. And she goes, well, I've got this, or this. I said, what one would you take? She goes, the Maserati. I said, But seeing the difference, I'm getting names, I'm throwing out I'm focused on what they want to make people happy, not
focusing on that emotion.
Customer service, they want people to be happy, so you're calling it out first. When you call up someone, oh, I can just tell I got lucky with your tonality. You seem like you love to make everyone happy. You're setting it up.
I had a question about neurolinguistics.
Go ahead.
You mentioned it today.
I did.
And it's fascinating.
It is.
And
we're in agreement. Go ahead.
It's, I guess if you had to put it in, like a smaller amount of learning for someone, who's just getting into it, what are your thoughts on
Well, a couple things. One is, I'm not a master of neurolinguistic programming, and I actually refuse from a personal standpoint to take mastery level of it. And I'll tell you for why, my thoughts. It's highly manipulative. In the wrong hands, and I see it being used, I've seen it used unethically. The fact that there are people out there that can get me to ride a roller coaster when I have no desire or want to ride one, I have certain expletive names I could use to describe that individual. I think that the NLP, the levels that I teach, are more ethical, let's say. I have to believe this, but from the standpoint of, if I'm selling something and they're going to buy a house, well, if they don't buy through me, they're going to buy through someone, so I don't mind if I have a knowledge base on something that they're wanting. So let me just make this clear. It's never okay to make someone do something they don't want to do. If you want my guidance in communication, I don't feel any reason to apologize for getting paid by you in that case. It's just I won't make you feel like I need the money or I need the client, because I don't, thankfully, all right? That's when it becomes problematic. But if I start using the word buy, hey, by the end of this conversation here, you're going to see where having me in your life is amazing. By the way, has anyone ever shared this with you before? By chance, that's not exactly like, and they're not going to, one, the idea behind NLP, you're speaking to a subconscious, but two, it's got to be ethical. So first off. Second off, the other NLP that I teach is things like body language. She can't help herself.
No.
He can't help himself.
Right.
She can't help herself.
Right.
All right.
Conditioned.
I can, okay. That's not problematic, all right? The other thing is I've been doing this enough today. What's your name, mate?
Kanar.
Kanar? All right, for this audience, real fast, just say the word milk 3 times, really quick.
Milk.
What do cows drink, quick?
Water.
Okay, that's fine. He said water, but watch this. What did your brain want to say? Milk. Okay. NLP, you say 3 facts in a row, it takes the next thing that comes out your mouth as factual. You guys walked over here, I was talking with John, I've now been teaching you stuff, so naturally you could see where having me in your life going forward is an amazing thing. You can't suddenly be like, no, what water? I'm stating 3 facts in a row have taken place to then throw out an opportunistic. Your clients, your AEs, hey, we spoke on the phone 3 months ago. You shared this, it's now today we're speaking again, so naturally you could see where I could be a tremendous resource for you. They can't suddenly go, wait, that doesn't make any sense, but you're using it consciously as a skill set in NLP. But I would be very cautious about where you're learning that.
So I'm just saying, like, what if the client that I'm reaching out to always wants to get off the phone, and I'm trying to speak with them, but that's just in their nature?
Then I would be using the words at least. So I'll give you an example. So I teach realtors in Florida. We've got a lot of people moving from New York. Now, New York have got a reputation for being quite impatient individuals. Okay, so I love them, but like they're impatient. So if I was speaking to a New Yorker as a Florida realtor, I would be on the phone with them. Now, and I was teaching John this earlier. If I'm on the phone with a New Yorker and they're in New York, the only thing I'm selling on that phone call is, can I get them on a virtual meeting with me? I'm not selling them anything else. It's phone, virtual. It's not phone, let me tell you everything I can do for you, and it's not letting them be impatient and rush me off the phone, okay? I'm going to make it garner understanding. I'll be like, let's say his name's Bob. Hey Bob, look, I don't know about up north, but even sometimes moving down the street or moving next door can be quite the mission with like the movers and stuff. And he's going to be like, yeah. I'm like, well, let's say that's a mission. Can we agree that moving to a whole different state is an even bigger deal? Given that we're in agreement, could you at least see where at least 30 minutes of figuring out a game plan, so when you come down here, we're setting up for success? Can that seem sensible to you? Yes, great. Are you going to be decent from the neck up on this day and time? Then I've now gone from phone call, but I use the words at least.
Yes.
So what you want to do is say, hey, would you agree that what we provide our clients is imperative that we get things right? Okay, let's say there's some things that I haven't been able to share with you here. Would that at least be beneficial, your eyes, to include this amount of time? They're going to be more inclined to say yes. If you say, do you have time? No. I want to be able to share these things with you. I don't care. It's, let's say there are things that I can't share right now. Would it at least be worth this?
I love that.
Do you like the stuff? The fact that you're, watch this, multiple NLP, milk. The fact that you've come across it, you've seen me speak this morning. Hey, you see this lovely guy who's my biggest fan, all right? You've heard me teach stuff here. You could naturally see where investing 0.3% of what you invest in college, you would learn a lot from me, correct?
Yes.
Okay. It does. I'm showing you proof of concept. You can do all these things in your interactions. Find the ways to use words at least.
Okay.
Let's say this is something I haven't had a chance to discuss. Would it at least be worth this? You'll elevate your chances of getting that more time with that person.
Zoom with me for 15 minutes.
But you make it questions. Can you at least?
Can you at
The
least?
problem is your kids can use this kind of stuff against you too.
Right. So what do you do if you have a broker on the phone that doesn't really know, hasn't done loans in a long time, is trying to work through our system, and you're trying to coach them, but they're very impatient. And
You want to
computer
find a
savvy.
right peg into a square hole.
Yeah.
All right. What's your name?
Tamara.
All right. If I'm trying to force Tamara on getting into my training based on books, it ain't going to happen. If I'm trying to get her in based on a car payment, it ain't going to happen. If I'm trying to get her in, these are not things that are going to, and we get so logical and we make things emotional. Why wouldn't you do this? Or what are you thinking? It's a human psychology. You've got to stop being round peg, square hole. But in order to do that, you've got to try and figure out, where can I go with this conversation this person would actually imagine? I'll be like, look, I don't know about you, have you ever read the book Atomic Habits? All right, it talks about, and even if you haven't, it talks about this notion of how we talk to ourselves is really important. I'm going around, and you know what I learned? If I say I'm useless at technology, that's a very negative self-statement the book talked about. So it said to me, use this approach. I'm getting better at technology every day. So like I now feel like a more positive sense of going with it. Have you ever felt human in your life where you feel like you don't have everything figured out? Yes. Okay. Do you think that we should be like thinking about running before we walk, or do you think we should have any element of patience when it comes to those kind of things? What do you think? Terrific. So now I transition. So now can you see where if we can be a little bit more patient on this, we'll get ahead.
perfect. Thank you so much.
That's why you don't want to feature dump benefits and features that UWM brings to the table, because every one of your loan officers is going to do business with you for different reasons. One of the most critical components that hit home is you are being told, we bring this to the table, we bring that to the table. It's a problematic thing because you're telling value. Extract value. Look, there's many things we can do. What is the one thing that you would be valuing more than anything else? And they will buy from you based on that one thing. After they bought from the one thing, do not go and tell them, by the way, you get this, 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 and this, and this. Let them learn about that over time. I've taught you enough of what you're going to learn from me based on a feeling. You don't know everything involved in the course. You don't know all the times, all the dates. You're buying into a legitimate, not a ChatGPT, a legitimate human, has a camera family going with him everywhere, all right? You don't have to know everything about me to make the investment. Same way your clients don't have to know everything about everything to go with you. Let the relationship, even if it seems like it starts transactional, let the friendship develop.
Name, face.
Absolutely. I'm kind of happy that you've come at a moment where I seem like I'm popular, so
Yeah.
that's you're factually getting to see that.
Thanks about you, man.
I do my best to.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.